Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. We've got a really special episode today. This is the Neon Genesis Evangelion Telecaster, the signature of Asuka. Now, for about 75% of my audience, you probably have no idea what any of that means. But this is just a fan service review and demo video to the people who love this mid-90s anime. And basically, to sum up the show in just a few words, I mean, there's people that have dedicated a whole hour of really well-edited videos that, tell you all about this. The show was recently just put on Netflix, so people have been talking about it. And this thing Fender released because they're finally releasing the final installment movie of this series. But basically, you've got some teenagers, they've got these giant Evangelion robot things that they're fighting the bad guys with. I mean, it sounds like a fun action-packed adventure show, right? But unfortunately, it's like really sad. It'll make you feel lonely. I had to stop watching clips because I was just depressed for a week. So I'll let you check out some of those other videos if you're interested in learning more about that show. But for what you need to know about this is there is a female character, and her name is Asuka. It's like you've got a Brooklyn accent trying to say the word Oscar. Apparently in the Netflix dub they pronounce it Asuka, but whatever way you pronounce it, there's just no U, it's silent in this particular case. And when she's first introduced into the show, she's kind of a foreigner, so they gave her such a beautifully wangly-jangly country tune called Asuka Strikes, and I absolutely fell in love with her theme, but I'm pretty sure that's the reason why they gave her this signature Telecaster to celebrate this new movie. They've got some of the branding of the Evangelions and the shows. So we've got the 2 Ava here on the 12th fret, as well as the nerve here on the neck plate. But here is this really cool Telecaster that we're gonna check out today. So besides all the fancy branding, you're gonna notice right away this color scheme. This is based off of her suit that she wears within the show, as well as within the movie. And it's essentially just like a reddish orange moving into a yellow here, but then it's your pickguard that has all the other colors, like green, you've got the matching red and the black. Then you've got these really cool freaky looking humbuckers, and I'm not sure if that's a single coil or not. We'll have to throw it onto the workbench. It might just be like a stack type thing. But this is a made in Japan exclusive, and they were only limiting these to 30 of them outside of Japan, and none of them were being shipped to America. So I had some people pre-order these through my New Guitar Day program for me to import them here to the US and a few other countries. I think I purchased like 3 or 4 of these, but only one of them's here. So if you did order one through me and I'm not sending this guitar to you, don't worry, it's still coming, it's still coming. But it looks like this one's actually serial number 69. And oh my goodness, it's true. Somebody messaged me this, and they were curious if this typo actually made it to here, because the stock photo of these guitars, if you look really closely, they misspell serial number as number. And yep, it's right there. N-U-N-B-E-R. Oh, that's embarrassing, Fender. But anyways, it's just kind of a cool Telecaster. I'm digging this neck. It's like a smoky ash color, like trans black, but then you see the rosewood fretboard along the edges, and that red nut, that is interesting. But in Japan, these things are about $2,400 brand new, but if you import them to the USA, you gotta remember you've got import taxes and duties on top of that, so these quickly become about $3,000 because they are made in Japan. So first impressions here, it is expensive for a made in Japan Telecaster. I mean, they're fantastic guitars, don't get me wrong, but this is not a custom shop level guitar, and it's demanding custom shop level prices. So that tells you how big of a fan base this Evangelion show has. But hey, let's go ahead and check out our case candy because, it's nice that they actually give us a case. Most of these made in Japan exclusive tellies, like the Silent Sirens that we've been looking at, they just came with a gig bag. And this is Fender's really nice hard shell case. I think these are like almost $200 brand new. These things are so fancy, they actually get a COA booklet. Now, it's more like a cardboard material, so this could get bent and creased up. But when you open it up, here's what you got. Oh, cool. So despite actually being number 69 on the back of the headstock, it looks like they are numbering them separately here. So this one's number 16, part of the first run. We've got the Evangelion officially licensed thing. That's probably another reason why this is so expensive, is it's 2 brands mashing up together here. But you get a nice little photo of Asuka there with her Telecaster. And when she loses her eye, oh man, that's so heartbreaking. There's a reason why they did it from this angle. But besides that, it looks like we get some special decals here. One that just says Fender, and then the nerve. And I'd like to do some quick clarification here. In the stock photos, you see a special case right here. It just has this decal applied to it. And then all the usual stuff. The giant Fender pick, that's your warranty card, with the matching serial number sticker in there. Yeah, just all your basic stuff. So cool. Let's go ahead and throw this one on the workbench, take an individual look at its parts and specs, see what other funny things we can find about this thing. Then we'll get to that playing demo. Inside the Evangelion Asuka Tele. You know, at first I was a little bit hard about the price point of this thing, but now that I've seen some of the components that make it up, I think this is priced appropriately. So let's go ahead and take a look at these things. So these are actually lace sensor pickups. They're from their Aluminatone series. And these are completely freaky. Look at this pickup. There's like nothing to it at all. And you can see this one was made on a very particular day of the year, 4/20. And your last two digits in your serial number are 69. So this is just kind of an internet guitar, I guess you could say. But these are made in USA. And these pickups, this is like $125 a pop, and this one's about 115. So that's a massive upgrade as compared to what normally comes in a made in Japan Tele. But instead of using a bunch of copper winding to make these pickups, they use like 90% less of it, and this is all made out of aluminum, so it weighs almost nothing. So if you're trying to get like a super lightweight guitar, this is one way you could do it. And I would have thought for sure that they would be active, because they just look like active pickups, but they're not. They're completely passive. You don't have any batteries hiding in here. But here's what the backside of the neck pickup looks like. And as far as how they do the pickguard, it appears they just have some sort of vinyl graphic that they place on the back here. I don't want to pick at it, but I'm sure you could remove that. But I don't think you want to, because that's where your colors come from, because the top of it is just clear. As far as the pickup cavities go, that's looking pretty clean, but you do not have any type of middle pickup routing. You are stuck with a single coil here and nothing in the middle, and some sort of a humbucker here in the bridge. This pickup mounts to the pickguard, and this one mounts actually directly to it. I'm actually going to criticize that a little bit, because you can actually see directly through this pickup even when it is installed. And there's a little area that's a little bit rough right here in the pickup cavity that shows. So I feel like they could have painted that a little bit better if we're being really nitpicky here. But as far as the bridge, it's just a very basic string-through Telecaster style. This is the same type that we found on those Silent Sirens. It's just mounted with 3 screws right there. But you're going to notice all of the black hardware on this is a matte black. And I love that so much, especially right here, because it doesn't show fingerprints. The only downside is it would show scratches. That's why I chose not to remove these screws. The knobs are even the same way, and that matches the pickups. And they even went as far as to do it on the tuners up here. It just looks so great. This is such a colorful guitar because the finish itself is a poly gloss and the body wood is made out of alder. Now how many pieces, I'm not quite too sure. If you get it in the light just right, you can see some wood grain through this finish. But that's just been common on most of these made in Japan teles that I've been getting. So at first I thought, cool, USA pickups, but then I was really impressed when I took this off. Normally the made in Japan stuff, they don't get garbage electronics, but it's not the high quality CTS stuff. But this does indeed have 250K CTS pots. Because if they put high-end pickups in here and then cheaped out a little bit here, I think I would have to call them out on that. But they even gave us one of the higher-end switches here, so this is definitely a nice upgrade here. But what I found interesting here is, look, you've got extra deep cavities right here. Let's go ahead and grab the DC resistance readings here. So our bridge pickup is 3.43. Now, according to the Lace website, there's supposed to be lower output in the readings. I mean, you can see this one's even a 2.5 here, but there's supposed to be a higher output pickup at the same time. It's just how they built them. We'll have to see if we like these or not. I've seen some criticisms of these pickups kind of being lifeless, but then there's a lot of people that just love them. It's certainly a unique design that I don't think I've actually ever had one of these before. I had something that looked similar, but it was not completely see-through like this thing. So this does indeed have a single coil in the neck and a humbucker in the bridge. Kind of interesting for a Tele, really, because you don't have that normal Tele bridge that encapsulates the bridge pickup, so it's going to be different than most Teles, just besides the exotic look here. But no fancy electronics, no push-pulls or anything like that, just your standard 3-way toggle switch here. Moving on from the alder body, we have a maple neck with a rosewood fretboard. And as we had saw earlier, there's only one inlay here around the 12th fret that says to Ava. And this doesn't even look like a pearloid material, it's just something that's completely white. I think that would have looked cool if they would have went with like a mother of pearl, but I get it, they were just trying to make this stand out against the fretboard, so it makes sense. But we've got 22 narrow tall frets on a 9.5-inch radius fretboard. That's pretty good, so it's going to feel slightly modern without being too crazily modern. And then when you get up here, you've got a synthetic red bone nut. That is cool. So let's go ahead and grab these neck dimensions. 25.5-inch scale length with a nut width of 1.67 inches, and by the 12th fret, 2.02. Fender's calling this a U-shaped neck with a 0.9-inch first fret neck depth, and that increases to 0.92 by the 12th. Now here's where some things get interesting. So you've got your truss rod adjustment at the front of the neck, that's always nice. You get the circle style string tree, and again, take a look at this matte black finish on these tuners. It complements this completely glossy black front, and this is a pure black finish here. And you get that silver Fender Telecaster logo right there. But I wanted to point out that this is a pure black, because as we switch over to the back of the neck, this is trans black. I did not even know what to expect this when pre-ordering it. I thought it was just a completely black neck, but I love that they went for trans black back here, because you can still see the skunk stripe through all of this. So it's just kind of a nice little added bonus that they did on these. So you've got trans black here, you've got complete black on the face, you've got a little bit of yellow here, and then you got some red and orange, and then you got black stripes. I love this optical illusion, the dark, and then you get the dark neck plate, so it just kind of looks like you can see the neck through there. And then of course the colorful pick guard. This just has so many different color schemes going on with it. And if you didn't notice, these are actually locking Fender tuners, so that's a nice upgrade here. But once again, somebody's getting fired at Fender Japan. Serial number 20010069, made in Japan. And I completely missed this in my first impressions. They actually numbered each and every single one of these on the neck plate. Number 16. Love it. Absolutely love it that they did that. I think I was just berating Fender on, I think it was their newest limited edition series, Parallel Universe Volume 2. That they tell you it's a limited edition, but they don't tell you what number it is out of whatever. So I love the fact that they decided to do that for this one, because it does take a little bit more effort for them to make an individual neck plate for each and every one of these. And hey, take a look at this. They've carved a little bit away right there so you can get to the higher fret registers just a little bit more easily. It's not like an Ultra Telecaster, but it's the next best thing. But as far as the back here, you just get the black stripes right there, and then you get the 6 black ferrules in between there, with black strap buttons in your usual locations. So all in all, if you like this color scheme or you like this anime, this is just a fantastic looking guitar. I'm very impressed with what they used to make this thing. I thought this was just a cheap cash grab where they're just going to give you cheap electronics, but no, we found out they actually put some pretty decent stuff in here. And do you guys think they should have put a pickup ring on that? I don't think that cream looks all that bad. It stands out a bit much, but maybe they could have like painted it black on that side and then had some red there, because that would help hide the pickup cavity itself. I just wish I had a black pickup ring to help mock that up a little bit better. All said and done, this one weighs 7 pounds 11.2 ounces. Let's go ahead, plug it in, and see if Asuka strikes. Now that we know all about the Asuka Tele, what are my final thoughts on this thing? You know, I had a lot of fun with this guitar. I had never heard of the series before this, so if anything, I get to learn new things by documenting these cool made in Japan guitars. The Asuka Strikes theme is just so beautifully wangly, tangly, and country. I just fell in love with it. I sat down, I took 4 hours to learn that. I'm pretty proud of how that turned out. It definitely has some more polishing to go through, but this instrument inspired me to play and learn that. So for that, it's a win in my book. The pickups, it's quite an interesting tone that these things have. I would say it's very thin and spanky sounding. Maybe it's because I needed to dial some more bass in my tone on the amp. It just sounded very thin coming straight through that recording. But that's great for the, the Asuka Strikes theme. So it's very spanking and has a lot of bite and attack to it. The humbucker, it was really full without being muddy. And a cool little feature that I found out is you can actually store a pick right there, right inside of your humbucker. It just hugs it snugly enough that you don't have to worry about it falling out. But you're not going to break anything, so if you ever need a spare pick on stage, you can just have one right there. And not having a pickup ring or any other type of surround, it was very liberating when you played this thing. It just feels like you have complete open space, because those pickups are rather flat. So in the end, yes, I do believe these things are worth it, even if you have to import one into the US, if you like the show. Now, if you don't care about the show and you don't care about the future collectability value of these things, because every signature anime guitar that goes into production will eventually go out of production and then become highly collectible in the future for people who find the show later on. So I can definitely see these things inflating to crazy prices later on. For example, take a look at the old Beck signature guitars. Those things are quite pricey on the used market. So if you're going to get one, you probably want to get one sooner than later, but as far as I'm aware, I think they're all sold out, so you'll have to just buy off the scalpers market at this point. But there's nothing special about the specs of these except for the paint job. It's a very basic Tele, but with pickups you don't normally find in them. But again, you can buy these pickups aftermarket and build a parts caster version of this guitar for a lot cheaper. But one last little fact here. This guitar has been bugging me. This color scheme reminds me of something, but I couldn't put my finger on it until I kind of finished up this video. This is the Burger King uniform colors. I hate it. I hate it so much, but it's true. You've got the green for the lettuce, you've got the red for the tomatoes, you got the black for the rest of their shirt, and you even take a look at your fretboard here. It's brown for the hamburger part. They've got all the Burger King colors. Not quite as cool as Asuka, but hey, it's what it is. That's also why having this cream pickup ring on here, it looks off but right at the same time. Oh, that's silly. But just as one last fun fact here, if you're not a big fan of Asuka and you like Ray, Fender actually did a Ray signature Strat and Telecaster as a master built. Yuri Shishkov did those. I don't like that design as much because it's just the girl's face on it being all ominous and whatnot. And here's a gem of a photo with Yuri with that guitar. So that's going to conclude this review and demo. I hope you guys enjoy getting to see this rare, made in Japan exclusive guitar here in the United States. I love importing these things just because I'm not supposed to have them. All right, thank you Troglodytes for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you tomorrow on the next episode. Take care.